Welcome to the Fast Track Technology Academy TV show. My name is Ibrahim Mohammed Hashi, your host for today. I'll be interviewing three special people. A female FST bootcamp graduate who recently landed a job in London, which is a software development role. I'll be interviewing her manager, and I'll also be interviewing the FST Academy CEO. Currently we're in West London, but we'll be traveling to North London, where Hibo is. Ahmed Dini, the CEO of FST Academy, has kindly agreed to take us on a ride, where I'll be conducting this interview en route. So let's go. So we're en route now to North London, where we'll be interviewing Hibo, and as I already mentioned, we'll be interviewing Ahmed Dini, the CEO of FST Academy. Right, so what can you tell us about Hibo and what was the experience like teaching her?
Hiba was a fantastic student. I remember when she first came to Fast Track Technology Academy, she was very straight about what she wanted. She said to me that I'm a professional school teacher, basically. I'm not happy with my job. I do a lot of hours. I do work all day at school, and I take my work home. I do either markings or lesson planning, and I'm not happy with that. I work almost 16 hours a day. I'm so tired. And she said, what can you do for me? I need to go into IT. I want to be a software developer. I want to be able to work less hours, and I want to be able to work from home. Can you help me with that? And I was really impressed the way she asked the questions and said, yeah, we can help you. We do teach here software engineering or software development. We have a boot camp that will give you 6 months training. And then after the 6 months training, we have also a way to give you work experience, and you would have hands-on commercial work experience after you graduated. One of the questions that I asked her was, you need a lot of time to become a software developer. Do you have that time? And she said, I'm struggling with time. I'm already working. I need to keep working, but I'm going to sacrifice a lot of my time. I'll be working at the same time I'll be studying, and I'll be giving 100% on vacations. That's fine. I said, okay, so we can start. She started, and I was really impressed how much time she put into it. The way we designed our bootcamp is it was designed for busy people like her who can come to the class a few hours a week and should be able to do the rest at home. So we have recorded videos. So she was watching those videos, and she ended up ahead of her class. She completed the whole course that we designed for 6 months in 4 months. And that was a first, actually. And she started doing the work experience. After 2 months into the work experience, I said to her, I think you're ready. You should start applying for jobs. So we started preparing her CV and everything, and she started applying for jobs. And within the first week of applying the jobs, she had 2 offers, which actually one of them, she accepted it, which was impressive. Since then, Hiba has been campaigning for women to go into the IT industry. She has held a lot of conferences and campaigns. I know a few that she's done in Ireland, in London, in Somalia, and she does it all the time online as well. I know a few girls that she encouraged who had also jobs, who will be interviewing here as well.
We arrived at Hibo's home office, as you guys can see over here. So I'll be interviewing Hibo. So Hibo, can you introduce yourself and talk to us about yourself?
Yeah, thank you for having me. My name is Hibo. I am actually a software engineer now. I started my journey here, or should we say fast track. I've been in the industry for almost 2 years now, so yeah.
Thank you. Hiba, I understand you have a degree and master's in education, and you've been teaching for 3 years in secondary school in London. Mm-hmm. So what made you change your career?
Before I basically joined the course or joined the bootcamp, I was actually teaching. So I faced a lot of problems when I was teaching. The fact that you work too many hours, you also don't get time for yourself. Even though you got like weekends off and we get all these holidays, it really does not count because you either preparing lessons, you're marking lessons, and you constantly are doing something. So because of that, it was like very like challenging. So I did not want to be in the industry, but I also did not know where to go. So when I started with Ma'alin and when I started the course, obviously it was like very challenging at first because obviously I was studying, doing my masters, and also on top of that I was working full time. So mind you, full time like masters, full time working, and then at the same time I was trying to do the course. It was hard, and that at first I faced a lot of struggles, but I felt like once you get your head around it, and obviously the support that you get, like, you know, from the teacher, also from everyone else around you, it sort of helps. So you kind of like prepare yourself in the long run. And also I just couldn't miss the opportunity, like, you know, the fact that I work from home, the fact that, you know, every single year we get a salary review, which means basically the more experience you have, the more money you will make. Do you see what I mean? You're not going to get that in education. We pretty much know how the education system works in the UK. But yeah, and also like the freedom, the fact that you can, yes, of course my company is a national-based company, but if you're working for international companies, you can pretty much work anywhere in the world because they don't really give you a specific country to work. Do you see what I mean? So you can travel, you can go to like other countries at the same time, like, you know, you're earning and making money. And then going back to the hours are way less than what I used to do. Yes, I'm working from home, but I can anytime get up, start cleaning the kitchen, make myself food. Do you know what I mean? So like I can do a lot of things even though I'm working. Just flexibility, money, pretty much anything. Like, you know, it was just ticking all the boxes.
Could you describe your experience at Fast Track Technology Academy and what were some of the key takeaways from the bootcamp?
I had a really, really good experience. I can get into it and talk about it all day long. I'm not even kidding. Obviously, we had a lot of support. The fact that you get support from the teacher and it's 24 hours thing, but also like there's other students around that obviously some of them might started before you, but some of them got like more experience than you do. So it's like you can always have that conversation with someone, or you can have it with the teacher, or you can have it with like, you know, other people working there as well. I really had a really good experience, very, very good experience. And you'll probably know from the time I've started and from the time that I got the job, was literally within 5 months or 6 months, if I'm not wrong. So that probably tells you a lot.
That's great. That's great. So Hibo, you mentioned you finished the course in 4 months while working full-time, studying full-time, and also doing the bootcamp at the same time. So it's quite extraordinary. So how did you manage to do that?
Well, I mean, that is possible because obviously you've got all the resources available to you. You've got pre-recorded videos, you've got all the resources, obviously, that's been uploaded. Also, the fact that obviously it was during the summer, which means basically we had a month and a half off from work. And yes, I used to put like 6 hours, 7 hours, sometimes 8 hours. And once you get your head around it, basically, it just becomes a natural thing. You don't even force it to go and study. You will just see yourself like using your laptop and just doing research or like watching the pre-recorded videos, or it becomes addiction. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, that's the only way I can describe it, to be honest. Yeah.
Which programming languages and technologies did you focus on during the bootcamp? And how proficient were you at the time? And when did you know that you're ready to apply for jobs?
We basically did HTML, CSS, JavaScript, React, TypeScript, Linux. You know what, it's been too long, I can't fully remember, but I'm pretty sure there was so much stuff that we actually did, which was very helpful. Talking about like how ready, when did I feel like I was ready to actually, you know, apply jobs. As an individual, you're not going to feel ready. You will never feel ready. Even now that I've got 2 years experience, I still don't feel ready. Do you see what I mean? Mm-hmm. But I think that's a comment that comes from the teacher, of course, because he knows what level you're at, because he obviously know what you're capable of. Yeah. And I think that's what I was getting from the teacher, like you need to start like, you know, doing your CV and like start applying jobs and stuff like that. And I don't think I've mentioned this, but you actually do get a lot of support when it comes to like applying jobs as well. You will get help with your CV, you get help with the interview preparation, like how to search, where to look when it comes to like the sort of jobs that you're looking for, how to apply them, like how to like get ready for the interviews and obviously answer the questions or whatever questions that you might get and whatnot. So yeah, it was pretty like, you know, good process. And like I said to you, you will never feel ready as a student because obviously you doubt yourself, isn't it? Yeah. That's a nature, like that's a human nature. But I think like
what type of opportunities are available for ethnic minorities and especially women?
Yes, there is a lot of opportunities for both ethnic minority groups and women, because obviously, as you know, this is an equal opportunity country. The government, of course, try to like encourage more women to go into the tech industry. The company gets like recognition from the government once they are very diverse. So once they have a black in your company, yes. Do you have a Muslim woman in your company? Yes. Do you have a woman in your company? So it's like you're basically ticking all these 3 boxes. That is obviously another thing that is really good about as a Somali woman, you tick all these boxes. The diversity in the tech industry is actually not great, I'll probably say. That's why we need more women in tech. We need more ethnic minority groups in tech. Yes, and I try to like raise that awareness. I try to like encourage more women to go into the industry. I try to encourage more like ethnic minority groups and so on and so forth. And obviously I've probably invited you to that campaign. I don't know if you remember in Northern Ireland.
Yeah.
I've done one in Northern Ireland where I was trying to like raise awareness about, having more ethnic backgrounds in the tech industry. I also did one in London. I did one in Somalia, social media, like my TikTok, my Snapchat, pretty much everywhere. That hasn't gone into waste. So obviously we had people who started with Fast Track, and then there are girls who obviously use me as a role model and started the course and did it within a few months and straight away got a job. So we got a long way to go, but
That's very inspirational.
There is a lot to be done. But
Hibo, I know you completed your boot camp. So when you started with your new employer, did you require any more further training?
yes, so once you complete the course or once you finish the boot camp and you start off like a new job, what happens is basically you are hired as a junior developer. One thing they don't expect from you is they don't give you deadlines to just complete something, and they don't just randomly throw you into the team. You are a junior developer, so you are technically still learning. They investing in you. What you learn, Fast Track is the foundation, right? Once you start working as a developer, once you become like, a software engineer, you are getting hired as a junior, which means basically you get trained, you are supervised by senior developers, you learn front end with Fast Track. So what they turn to do is try to train you to become a back end developer as well. So yes, you continue learning, and what happens is you are not expected to contribute to the project straight away. What they do is basically they allow you to explore or check out their code in order for you to get your head around it, because obviously you're joining a whole new company. And also like you got a supervisor, so you got the senior developers like obviously looking after you if you need help with anything. And that does not mean you stop learning or you depend on them all the time, but you also try to become independent as fast as you can.
Hibo, you mentioned you work shorter hours compared to teaching, and also that you work at home, and you're quite happy with your job. So the mouth-watering question is, how much do developers earn?
That's a good question. So it depends on experience, but as a junior, you're expecting starting from 35 all the way up to 500,000, depending on the company again, if you're working for big companies. If you are doing contracting work, which is basically you're not permanent staff, you are talking about anything between 400 to 1,000 per day. But if you're a junior developer, you don't straight away go into contracting. Obviously, you need a few years experience in order for you to do that. So that's that. And then also you get a salary review every 6 months, depending on the company. You can get every 6 months, you can get every single year, and then your salary basically goes up again. Like the more you stay with the company, or the more experience you have, or the longer you've been in the industry.
Lee, thank you for being part of our interview. It's my privilege to interview you. If you could be so kind, if you can give us an introduction about yourself and a bit of your background and your experience.
Yeah, so my name's Lee Ford. I'm a development lead. So I've been leading a development team, which is me and Hibo, and we work on lots of different software projects, and that ranges from sort of small ones to large ones that take us many months and years to complete. I do a lot of community work, so when it comes to development, I like to share what I found, any problems I've come across, speak at events, try and spread the knowledge as much as I can where I can.
Thank you for that. I understand, Lee, that you were part of the recruitment process for Hibo. So what was special about her compared to other candidates when you were hiring her?
Irrespective of, male or female or ethnicity, we effectively just compiled a list of these people seem like they fit our business and our culture and the way we do stuff. And, we just went through interviewing people, and certainly when it came to Hibo, it kind of it was when you walk into a house for the first time, you're like, yeah, this is the house I want to live in. It was a little bit like that. It was like, oh, yeah, this person fits exactly what we want. And it was definitely that kind of, this person fits.
That's great. And my final question is to you, which is, I think, more important for our audience to understand. How are you finding Hibo, and what do you think about women in tech? What's your take on them? And could you be so kind to share, like, what your opinions are, like, for women going into tech? Because you've seen Hibo firsthand, so I just want to get a bit of an idea about that.
Yeah, and absolutely. So the first thing on how do I find Hibo? I mean, to be fair, it's been brilliant. It's coming on 2 years this year, and to be honest with you, like I say, it's a very small team, and we've done some great stuff, and from where we started to where we are now, it's a massive change, and it's only really when you look back and go, oh wow, we've done this and we've managed to do that, and there's things I think from both sides, we've challenged each other to do things, and it's really it's really come together. So it's been a great experience. When it comes to women in tech, that is something that I have a young daughter, not just because of that, but ultimately I've seen also firsthand where women find it hard to get into technology. And also, I think the bigger challenge is also staying there. Unfortunately, it's a male-dominated area, and you do find a lot of women start off in tech and then are effectively pushed out or looked over or aren't given the same opportunities, the same pay, the same responsibilities as men are, which obviously is wrong. But, I think the only real way to kind of combat that is obviously call it out and, where possible, give opportunities to women as much as possible in the tech industry.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Hibo, for taking this time out to take this interview. You've gone through a very remarkable journey. You've been an inspiration for not just me, but I'm sure many more others who are listening. And I also appreciate you allowing me to see your home set up. It's quite amazing. So yeah, thank you for taking this interview.
It's my pleasure.